States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We need to switch the flags.
I was looking at this one.
Yeah, so was I. The audience is supposed to, the American flag is supposed to be on the left of the audience. Flag.
Probably my fault, sort of.
I'll switch them.
We had them outside the 4th of July. I don't remember who put them back in here, but
All righty, we'll call this meeting West Burlington City Council order. Roll call.
Crowner,
here.
Raleigh.
Here.
Heitmeyer.
Here.
Lees. Waterman.
Thank you. Perfect and approve the agenda. Support. Motion with support. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Heitmeyer.
Aye.
Lees. Crowner.
Here.
Carried. Consent agenda.
Motion to approve is presented.
Support.
Motion with support to approve consent agenda items 1 through 7, which are the minutes from the regular city council meeting on July 17th, 2019. Approve payment Dave Bazine Electric. Approve payment Frank Miller and Company. Approve payment to Jetco Incorporated. Liquor license renewal for Target. Approve CBTX Press certification training. Newberry. And approve the claims list as presented in the amount of $80,935.48. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Heitmeyer.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Motion carried. Staff report. Dan?
Couple things. We've been having a little bit of trouble in Pat Klein Park, so we put a camera up there. I don't know how long it'll last. As a test, if it lasts and it works for a while, we can add some more. But we're gonna do it on a trial basis, see what happens with it. It's up pretty high, but anything's possible over there. And we got the asbestos test back on the 3 houses we own, and there's asbestos in all 3 of them, so I'm getting quotes for getting rid of that. You got any idea of the time frame on that? No, because it'll depend on the company I get, and I haven't really talked to anybody yet, so. The one that was supposed to come down on this weekend is not happening this weekend. The house
Try
up,
to get it going as fast as possible.
the house out back here, are we keeping the garage? The one
I
out,
was thinking about keeping it for a while to put the city car in, but
yeah, I don't care, I had somebody ask me.
yeah, that was the thought, at least for a
Interested in
while.
pieces and parts if we're just gonna scrap it.
Oh, not right away, but at some point we will. Whenever we decide to build whatever we're gonna build there, but until we do that, I figured we might as well use it to put the city car in.
One other quick question then. You mentioned Pat Klein Park and putting up a camera. What kind of problems are we having in that park?
Somebody dumped some fish guts down the slide one night,
Oh, in the
like a
storm,
bucket full of fish guts down the slide. I mean, nothing bad, but just enough that,
pulling the storm grates off and dropping them down in, and we're having to crawl down in manholes, pull the storm drains out.
I think we ought to talk about it. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with telling us what kind of problems are going on.
yeah, no,
So the citizens and public know.
And we've been foot patrol every second, third shift's been going through a couple times a night too, so hopefully that'll help too
All right,
at all parts.
okay, thanks.
And the cameras are designed to work remotely.
Yeah, it runs off a cell network, so it's not, it's like it's got a cell phone in it.
Does it send pictures instantly to anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, and alerts if there's motion.
Because like, I got one on my farm that'll send me a picture every time a deer walks in front of it.
Yeah, well, this is kind of like that.
Okay.
That's what.
It'll give an alert to the patrol phone and especially if it's between like 11 and 5 a.m. or something, if there shouldn't be anybody moving around in there at that time. If there is, they can go down and check it out.
Okay. Thanks.
Anything else for Dan? Mike?
One thing I have is I wanted to introduce our two new public works people, Chase Williams and Joel Schnaden, in person instead of on paper for all of you.
Both of them on the job now, right?
Yep, both on the job, been working on training already, and
Welcome.
You guys aren't ready to quit yet, are you? Just checking.
I don't know, I seen Joel in the dump truck with his dad yesterday, so maybe he was giving you pointers or chauffeuring him around. Chauffeuring him around. All righty. Anything else tonight? Police, Jesse?
Well, just updated a little bit about extra patrol at the parks and, just been staying pretty busy. Police department side, but nothing new.
Do I have anything for Jess? Sean's not here.
I will get Sean.
You will?
Yes, I will.
But Leslie and Sean tonight.
I am. The 517 man truck, the serpentine belt broke and went through the radiator. So it is at Sean Kerr. I talked to them today and they're hoping to have the parks in tomorrow and get it back to us. Either the end of this week or the beginning of next week.
Didn't do any damage to the engine?
That, as of right now, they're saying no.
Ready. But, Kelly, you got anything going on?
No.
Hey, Andy, you got anything going on for Leslie?
We just wanted me to let you guys know that the auditors will be here next week, so we're working with, get everything ready for that next week.
Got anything going on?
Not much, a little bit maybe. I want to sit and talk with you and Dan someday in the near future. I was contacted by as some of you know, we were contacted by a organization that thought we shouldn't be praying at the 4th of July event. And we've now been contacted, or I have been, from an organization that says we should be able to pray at the 4th of July event. And they may be willing to foot the legal bills on such a thing. So I may come to you guys and want to talk to you a little bit about that, just so that you know, just a little heads up. If they're really interested in doing that, that's something I, as you both know, would be interested in looking into, so, just so that you know.
Rick, you got anything?
Not right at the moment, but at the end I would like to say something. Okay.
Rose? Trace?
I'm good.
Hey, I got something that just reminded me because we were talking about prayer, and I received a letter from St. Mary's. One of their members is trying to get the grotto certified on the National Historical Register, so I'm going to make a copy of it. You guys see the copy of that letter. There's some pros and cons on there, which they recognize that, you know, there could be, and see if you'd be willing to either support that or write a letter, or a letter of support that we can send to the National Historical Register to see if they want to get that done. That's the only thing I got. Anyone wishing to address council on matters that are not on the agenda tonight? Okay, new business. Consider, item number 1 is to consider purchase of rifles for the police department. 3 of them in the amount of $3,869.97.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion of support. Any discussion?
This is not on to tonight, but I'm just brought this up to Chief, and I just thought that maybe to look at is a beanbag shotgun. He gave me some information, and I think they're a little bit too high on this one. And he said, but I would be interested in see the police department to get one of these at the time. So,
I'll leave that up to, I'll pass that on to Ed. He's our firearms instructor and all that, so we'll see what we can get pulled up and see if we can modify one of our 2 existing shotguns that we have now, or go a different route than what I presented you today, but just giving you some ideas of what out there.
I appreciate it.
Bring the salesman down and have him demonstrate it.
Good. I'm not volunteering.
No. I don't think my chest could take it anymore.
Lethal thing.
All righty. Roll call.
Hurts really bad.
That's good.
Roll call.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay, sorry. Heitmeyer,
Aye.
Lees. Aye. Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 2 is consider payment Snyder Associates for engineering service related to the following projects. Gear Avenue Trail Project, $5,537.35. Facility Plan Lift Station Replacement Project, $6,500. Wastewater Treatment Plant Lift Station Improvement Project, $2,247.50. Water Storage Evaluation Project, $6,625. And Lewis Park Water Resource Restoration Sponsored Project, $5,650.
Motion to approve payment of all these. Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Lees. Aye. Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Heitmeyer.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is to consider change order number 1 from W.L. Miller Company for the agency Broadway and Beaverdale Road HMI resurfacing project. And it's actually a negative $53,603.72. Projects, Matt, do you want to explain some of this?
Yeah, so what this really was, like, there's 4 main items here that had this large quantity. The first had to do with patching. When we first saw the west end of the agency, there's a bunch of spider webbing of the asphalt, so we assumed that the concrete below was gonna be very deteriorated. When we got done milling, we found out that it was just the asphalt on that, so we didn't end up having to patch it. The second one would be the granular surfacing on the shoulders out on Beaverdale and Agency. We assumed a uniform thickness for the whole duration of the project, and that they didn't end up needing to use that much granular material. And the last one is asphalt. Usually when we bid asphalt, we always add 15 to 20% for irregularities in the pavement, and this one ended up being smooth enough that none of the irregularities were there, so it ended up not being as much asphalt as originally. So, yep, it's just normal, contract variations.
So the bill is $53,603 less.
Yes, correct.
That's good. You don't see those two very often.
Great.
Approve before you change your mind.
Support. Motion with support. Is there any further discussion? Roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Heitmeyer. Lees.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 4 is consider resolution accepting the 2018 Agency Broadway and Beaverdale Road asphalt resurfacing project and the release of the retainage money to W.L. Miller Company in the amount of $35,314.88.
Motion approved.
Support. Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Heitmeyer. Lees.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is to consider change order number 3 from W.L. Miller Company for the Gear and Agency asphalt resurfacing project. And this is another one to the good of $49,919.20.
Same
Same thing.
Strictly the asphalt.
Motion approved. Support. Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Heitmeyer. Lees.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Carried. Item number 6, consider resolution accepting the 2017 Gear and Agency resurfacing project and the release of the retainage money to W.L. Miller Company in the amount of $74,794.88. $0.94.
So moved.
Support. Motion with support. Is there any discussion?
Mike, are you okay with this?
Mm-hmm.
Roll call.
Raleigh,
Aye.
Hightmeyer. Lees.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Carried. Item number 7 is consider a resolution adding Nick Uner to volunteer fire department. Nick, is that you? Yep. Okay, well, welcome.
So moved.
Let him make the motion. Support. Motion with support. Any discussion?
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for volunteering and. Roll call.
Lees.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Hightmeyer.
Motion carried. Welcome aboard. Get your training in.
And you're already certified EMT, right? Yeah, so that'll help us out. You don't have to sit in school for that too, so.
You have to respond on med calls. You have to respond on med calls.
Right away, yep. Physical and a couple things done out of the way, we get them on the road with the med calls, so.
Okay. Number 8 is consider change order number 8 from Leander Construction for the wastewater treatment plant improvements. The amount of $15,948.52.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Hightmeyer. Lees.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 9 is consider resolution of continued support for the proposed Westfield Estate project and their amended application for a workforce housing tax incentive program credit. This is basically riding across and changing from single family to condo style.
And he'd given up on getting this grant, and he got a letter in the mail and said he got it, and they wanted this other, a new resolution, so he's asked us to pass this resolution and still supporting his project.
Okay, so you said in your note that Ryan was gonna be here, but he isn't. This is the same figure we had agreed to before,
Yes.
but is it a different number now of actual dwellings?
I don't know. How, do you know, Kelly?
It's still has 3 single family, and then there's 9 buildings with duplexes. I think it's gonna be more
So, yeah, it would be
more
more,
housing.
I just wanna point that out, that we're agreeing to invest more money.
yeah, it would be,
We had agreed to give $1,000 for 14 houses, but I think he's building more condos than that.
yeah. I think it's still a pretty good bargain. What we're gonna get out of it's gonna be way more than $1,000.
But building-wise, it's 9, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the one over by Tarp, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Behind
Okay.
dirt, behind dirt. And that's what I was just trying, it says dwelling unit.
Yes, that means just how it sounds, it's dwelling units. So
So if I build a fourplex, I have 4 dwelling units or 1?
It's gonna have 18 units.
total of 18 units?
18 units.
So $4,000 more.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure that,
Plus the houses though, too.
No.
Initially set up
she's
as
not.
14 lots to develop for single-family housing, and now they're going to take, so it says 8 of these lots and combine them into 1 lot, so that in the end, they're going to have 9 duplexes with 18 units.
Yeah,
And
plus
two single family, I knew there were 2 single-family homes.
9 duplexes. And then the others are what?
18 units and 18 units, because there's gonna be 9 buildings, and then 2 single-family homes.
Okay.
20.
20 total, I think.
14 from 14 to 20.
Yeah. And I don't have an issue with it, I just wanted to make sure we understood that we were actually committing a few more dollars than we had
About
talked about.
$6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan contacted me, and I thought he was gonna be here too. I don't know if maybe something came up, because I sent him an agenda.
Yeah.
He's a pretty busy young man.
What's your pleasure then?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve.
Support. Motion with support. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Hightmeyer.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Carried. Item number 10 is consider membership in the Joint Safety Committee. Thought Angie was gonna be here tonight, too. Anyway, it's, we've been members with SASO, which has had how many different communities?
I don't know off the top of my head, but quite a few in southeast Iowa. I know this come out of a meeting I sent Mike to where they were wanting to add a regional director and charge us a lot more money, and talked about how inadequate their current thing was and that we really needed to do this, and but then they said it was gonna be voluntary if you did it or not, so that was a little concerning to.
They couldn't really give us a number on what the cost was because you didn't know who was gonna join and who wasn't. So we didn't know how much more it was gonna go up, so then that's when I contacted Angie over here in the HR at Burlington and checked into that safety, that she does safety training.
And she
On
does a
site.
very good job, because
We won't have to
They do
travel to
the,
do it. She'll come to our shop and do it.
they do the landfill and
She got county, Burlington Waterworks, wastewater, and Burlington Streets Department. And I think she does with the fire department, Burlington Fire Department too, some, I think.
and you get a yearly report from her.
Yeah.
She comes out and presents a yearly report, and you probably get, I don't know how much good the training's done at Sasso, but I know her training would be very good.
Well, she informed me there's a lot of hands-on too. It's just not sitting there listening to the same literature out of the book year after year. Like
So
trenching that we just went to, that you sat there and listened to, and she actually has a company that'll come in and we'll take them to the sewer plant in our clay pile, and they'll actually have us dig a trench, set a box, do all the proper ways of doing our trenching and boring, and so it's hands-on and not just sitting there looking at videos and stuff. And a lot of the training
It's consistent, you have a day a month.
yeah, there'll be one day a month that she'll be here, that day every month, and it'll be one of the trainings that is required to us by OSHA to be complete.
We hear good things from the other organizations, and she's reduced their costs on workers' comp. At least that's what her report shows. So I will point out that we still have to pay Sasso this year, but we still can take advantage of their training as well. So it's not like it's that we had to pay them and not use it. We'll use their training throughout this year, and so it'll be. I think it's a little more than when Leslie looked for this year's. It was like about $3,500 that we'll pay on top of this to the Joint Safety Committee, but we'll make use of that training while we have it.
So we're gonna get the training no matter what, or they're gonna end up hiring somebody for an extra 4? Is that correct?
Well, they don't know that for sure, and they don't know how many people we're gonna, so they couldn't even tell us what that cost was,
So
which was the problem, I think.
if we go with passing this and then we still, it can
No,
end up.
no, that won't, no. If they do, we'll be out of that organization after this year. So whatever they do won't affect us after this year. And they weren't gonna do this until the next year anyway. They'll take them a little while to do
When I
it.
was at the meeting, the price increase that they're pushing, Danville, Mediapolis, a lot of them at the meeting were saying right then that there's no way that their council won't approve this kind of increase. So several were already gonna drop out. And if people drop out, if there's 12 or 14 cities there, each one that drops out, your price goes up to cover the cost. And then they're gonna add that director, so we have no idea where the cost level's ever gonna stop with that, so.
Well, I know I got email from the city administrator in Washington, and Washington and Mount Pleasant are both members, and I think, so us three are the big payers, and they're considering dropping out too, so I haven't heard what they've decided to do, but they didn't like the idea of telling us how inadequate it was, but it was voluntary, but you're taking your chances apparently. So I think this is gonna be a lot better deal. She came and gave us a talk about how she does it. I think it's a lot more hands-on. Our guys are gonna utilize it more.
She also is gonna go through our books and help us with our written policies on confined spaces that have fallen behind and not been kept up to with in entering and exiting our lift stations be our number one thing, is those three things that we go in and out of every day to clean grates and do our numbers, and willing to do all the writing and the policies and actually help get our OSHA stuff back up to par where it should be.
I don't think it's anything you need to vote on tonight, because we'd have to have a 2080 agreement anyway. But maybe we need to get her in here in the next council meeting and give a little presentation. All of you against it, or I think it's worthwhile.
Make a motion to table it, and I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay, table.
Part of the reason I brought this tonight, even though the 2080 is here, she has to talk to the other members to see if they'll, she didn't think that would be a problem, but they have to give permission to let us in and then create the 2080. So I thought if you all were against it, we wouldn't have her go through all that trouble. But if you're not, then we'll have her go ahead and ask and create the 2080, and we'll move on from there, and we'll get her here the next meeting.
I would say if you and Mike think this is the way we ought to go, that's what we ought to do.
And we do, I think.
I guess there is a resolution there. We can always prove that next time too. I'd like to hear from her, because she can explain the program a lot better than any of us. Item number 11 is consider resolution authorizing the disposal of water meter reading equipment as surplus property.
Motion to approve.
Support?
Motion support. Discussion. Roll call.
Please.
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Hightmeyer.
Aye. Carried. Item 12 is consider resolution approving the whistleblower policy for the city of West Burlington. Another one of those mandated things coming down from the state,
Yes, it is. And our attorney
unfunded mandates.
Our attorney recommends we adopt it, and everybody in the state was scrambling to try to put something together, and one of the bigger towns has Ehlers and Cooney, and so they wrote it, and then they shared it with everybody else, so, then our attorney tweaked it to fit us, and this is something that, like John said, the state says we're supposed to have.
Motion to approve.
Support?
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Hightmeyer.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Carried. Am I having old business?
Well, I just have something to say that I wanted to just get done, is that I'm not going to run for reelection. I've had a beautiful 16 years at the city council. I appreciate all the departments and everything else that had to put up with me all these years and that stuff. I'm glad to be part of this. I know I'm the oldest on the committee, so I'm the first one that has to leave from here. But my wife just didn't really want me to do it, and bless her heart, she put up with a lot and everything else, and my daughters and everybody else. I'm glad to work with the 4th of July over the last few years and that stuff in there.
Oh, you can still do that.
Well, I know that, and I'm sure that I was kind of bad this year and apologize, but all the citizens of West Burlington, I really appreciate you for being behind me and everything at West Burlington. I've been in West Burlington since 1956. I know Rod don't want me to go in long speeches or anything like that. He always teases me about it. But anyway, I want to thank everybody out in the community. I want to thank the school of West Burlington for all the years I've been up there, and I even have to throw in a little bit of Danville that helped me out a little bit, and I appreciate those schools and the county and everybody else. I know that I'm going to probably forget somebody along the line, but I just thought it would be fair enough to tell everybody I'm not going to run so that some young person can come in and take my place, and I hope they do just as well. So, of all, I thank the community, and I thank everybody in all the departments, and thank everybody on the board here.
We would thank you for your
Very well
service.
said.
So,
You know you got 6 months left, right?
kind of. You're gonna have to put up for 6 months.
5.
5 months or whatever, but it's been good, and
Paperwork's already been filled out.
yeah, and besides that, it's just the idea that the college, you know, I started West Burlington High School. We all pretty much graduated from West Burlington High School, and it's been a good community for everybody at that time, so I appreciate it. So, that's all I have.
All right, well, thank you. Anyone else? I got, anyone wishing to address council matters that were on the agenda or not on the agenda tonight? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Means adjourned.